Attention please. Debate's about to start. Ladies and gentlemen, debaters, coaches, welcome to tonight's debate, hosted by University Dauphine, thanks to the lovely and Trieu, I'll be your chairperson tonight for this debate, which motion reads, this house believes it is better to be the sidekick than the hero. Honestly, this motion is really too rich for me, because most of the time I feel more like a zero, which, incidentally, is my experience as a chairperson. But don't worry, okay? I have been provided a template by some of our heroes debating tonight. So without further ado, I shall kick my intro to the side and simply read you this incredible piece of literature. So, 5 speakers from the government will confront 5 speakers from the opposition. These 10 debaters are under the direct scrutiny of the timekeeper. Yes, Ed? Each speaker will be granted 6 minutes. During their speech, the speaker may be interrupted by a member of the other team, either by a kind of information or point of order. The point of information must be a question. It is asked by standing up and placing one's hand on one's head or one's hand outstretched. The speaker may or may not accept the point. However, they have to take at least one and are encouraged to take 2. If a point is accepted, it is included in the timing of the speech. Points of orders, on the other hand, are made directly to me, the chairperson, and they regard the procedures and the running of the debate. So remember, they're not done to the jury. Their aim is to ensure that both the rules and underlying principles of courtesy and decency are respected. If a point of order is asked, time will be stopped while I decide the grievance. The first and last minutes of each speech are protected. No points of information are allowed during that time. The beginning and the end of the unprotected time will be signaled by the timekeeper with a sound. At the end of the 6 minutes, you would hear the sound again. At this point, the speaker is expected to conclude their speech as fast as possible. If they do not do so within 15 seconds, SM can be as rude as possible. So, since you, dear audience, are members of this house, you're invited to interact with the speakers throughout the debate. Indeed, if you agree with what a speaker is saying, show your support for that. You all look the song. Yeah. However, if you disagree with a statement, show your disapproval with a bell ring. Shame. You're more of a shame crowd than a cheer crowd. That's good to know. In order to start the debate, let's now welcome our 2 teams, insert hosting team and insert hoster. So, the FDA board and So, okay, there's so much you can come up with in the RER, okay? Proposing the motion tonight and coached by, who are you coached by? Declan, okay. Will be represented by the Prime Minister, Peter. Our second speaker, Shanica. And our speaker, Louise. 4th speaker, Helena. And the government whip, of course, opposing tonight's motion, the opposition will be represented by the Shadow Prime Minister, Chelsea. Their second speaker, Leena. Third speaker, Dunja. Fourth speaker, Inari. And to conclude the debate, the whip, Tristan. To decide which team will be the winner tonight, we have 3 outstanding members of the jury. Anatole Choix, Nawa Hashem, and Zachariah. To get them, we have 5 equal criteria to follow. I will remind you there's argumentation, which concerns the content of a speech and the research done for it, form, or how said content is put forth. Teamwork, which pertains to the team's cohesion and strategy, engagement, or how well the team interacts with their opponent, and star quality, that elusive but specific je ne sais quoi. Alright, at last, it's soon over. Let's turn to the teams and to the motion, which is submitted to you this evening. This house believes it is better to be the sidekick than the hero. Both upon the first speaker of the government, Peter Barrett.
Microphone. Okay. Whimsical chairperson, your story is an inspiration to us all. Tinkling bell person, ringing your magical bell so well. Sidekick government.
Yeah.
Nothing is better than shining a light on my most valued creations. Villain opposition. Like a virus trying to take us down with you in an obsessive hero spiral. You might suck, but you will not succeed tonight. Moral and wise jury. You might be on the sidelines of this debate, but you will always be at the center of our attention. Guests, welcome back. Our parks have missed you so much, and we have something very special planned for you this evening. Good evening, young and old, and welcome to the grand opening of the Disneyland of Sidekicks. The theme park celebrating the characters that have remained for too long in the shadows of our imagination. I am Walt Elias Disney, the creator of the magical Disney universe that has changed the lives of so many. Tonight, we will be discovering our newest park's one-of-a-kind rides based on the most important sidekicks' contributions. What would Pinocchio have done without Jiminy Cricket's wisdom? What would Peter Pan have done without Wendy's good counsel? Mowgli without Baloo's tunes? Or Simba without Timon and Pumbaa? Unfortunately, I hear there are party poopers in this house. Individuals we call villains. Villains, they don't believe in sidekicks. They push them to the side and kick them off the main story, obsessing over the hero, and always underestimating our powerful and resourceful partners. In a story, the hero is always seen at the center of the storyline. They are the center of attention so that we can learn from their perilous journey into the unknown. Heroes are defenders, capable of great feats. They are capable of strokes of wisdom. They have impressive power. But with great power comes great responsibility. A weight on their shoulders which can lead them to loneliness, depression, and death, ladies and gentlemen. The sidekick, on the other hand, is part of the hero's story as a balancing force, keeping the hero on track and allowing them to reach their full potential by the end. And villains would like to get rid of them.
Shame.
That is why we've come here. That is why they have come here. Whittling their twisted words to our guests' ears. Yes?
Okay, so are you suggesting that the impact of a sidekick is greater than ones of a hero?
In fact, it is. Because without a sidekick, the hero is nothing. And the hero has an impact on us as well. So I would like to say that's kind of double impact, right? In fact, the sidekick is at the center of the hero's journey. And again, you just want to get rid of them. They will try to manipulate you, ladies and gentlemen. They will try to ask you to leave our new park.
On that point,
And they will have you prefer the heroes over the sidekicks.
what about all those heroes that don't have sidekicks?
Yeah.
Well, they probably didn't have the impact you wish they had. The sidekicks are an intricate part of the hero's story. In fact, you might even consider that sidekicks are not always what you think they are. Meaning, they could be another character in the story that helps the hero out. Sometimes the sidekick is not always the hero, and yet they are the intricate reason why the hero gets to be as good as they can be. Ladies and gentlemen, do not listen to them. As being the sidekick is indeed better than being a hero. Better means to add more value, to be of higher quality. It is to be more useful and more exciting. Do you have an exciting question? No, thank you. That is exactly what sidekicks are to heroes. Exciting, useful, of higher quality. This park invites you to discover their side of the story and realize that we should all strive to behave as sidekicks rather than heroes. The sidekicks celebrated in this park want to take back their righteous place in our collective storyline. To succeed in this endeavor, I have called upon a choice, an indispensable and friendly Disney sidekicks to create the best 6-minute rides we've ever had. Mushu, Moulin's resourceful dragon, will ride us through his story of reaching higher value for his inner and outer self. A relatable story of personal growth that is equaled, but that isn't equaled by heroes. Zazu, the Lion King's council, assuring the orderly transfer of power and preserving Mufasa's legacy. Zazu's ride shows the importance of stability and competence when it comes to the crucial societal concerns. The Genie, Aladdin's key to a changed life. A ride that will display the essential role of sidekicks and the inspiration they can be to heroes and through them to all of us. Oh boy, everyone look, it's Mickey. Mickey Mouse, everybody. And he's holding Minnie's whip. That's a promising omen. I can't wait for that ride that will bring the heroes to our side. Heroes are overrated, ladies and gentlemen. They live darker lives that we are willing to admit. Sidekicks are like the common folks, the ones making things happen, truly making a difference. Always remember, you've got friends in us. Enjoy the ride.
Peter. I mean, this minute of sidekicks, someone from marketing ran out of ideas. But I'm sure someone has more to say about that than me. I welcome Chelsea to the floor.
Right sidekick.
Most wonderful chairperson. You might as well be heroic because you sure are my very max. Dear timekeeper, would it be a crime to stop time to just look at you a bit longer? Wise members of the jury, at this point we could simply call you the Funky Justice League. Members of the government, it's a pleasure to be with you tonight. My dear opposition, heroes of sidekicks, it doesn't matter. You are the comfort of my heart.
Here.
Lovely audience, let us be your heroes for the night.
Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It was a cold and rainy night, and 10 debaters from the government discussed the motion the misguided government served to place the psychic on a pedestal, to undermine the hero. But the valiant opposition knew better. The opposition knows that the hero and the psychic are two parts of what makes a great story. I should know, for I am the celebrated New York Times best-selling author, Chelsea Gangaram. My words have brought my characters to life, and so they stand with me tonight. Leena, my villain, Dunja, my hero, Inari, my psychic, and Tristan, my +1, the ultimate fanboy. Dear readers, this author is most pleased to bring you all the classic characters we know so well. My characters have lived numerous stories and adventures. They represent all the cliches and tropes.
On that point?
No, thank you. You may have read. And so who better to tell you that each character serves a purpose, and it is those purposes combined that make the story. Ladies and gentlemen, no thank you. It is no story. It is not better to be the psychic than the hero. With this speech, I'll achieve two things. Firstly, I'll define the core of this motion, and secondly, I'll present to you my characters and our argument. But before I start, let me respond to the government's Prime Minister. It is not because the psychic is helpful that he's better. Yes, the psychic is the balancing force, but so is the hero. We are the team. Now on to the motion. It is better to be is used to subjectively describe something or someone preferable, for it is of a higher standard and quality, as my trusty Cambridge Dictionary confirms. The psychic is not the subordinate of the hero, but his companion, his partner in crime, for the hero can trust him. And finally, the hero is at the center of the story, for he's the main character. He can have a lot of flaws, but he has a pure heart, a sense of honor, and is capable of reaching achievement.
On that point?
Yes, please.
Aren't we better off without heroes? Because without heroes, there won't be any villains.
I don't think so. It's not because there are no heroes that there won't be villain. We all have. Here. Dear jury, there is no point in comparing the psychic and the hero, for they are partners in crime who have complementary parts to play. But before I continue, I must clarify two things. Firstly, with this motion and the use of better, the government implies that it is better to be a psychic, better as preferable, meaning that it is more important, more valuable, greater and excellent to be a psychic. Secondly, through this hierarchy is openly omitted the dual relationship formed by the two, for they are both equal parts of a strong relation. The heart of this team, no thank you, is the hero, and the body is the psychic. They are complementary. They both learn from one another, and no thank you, and need each other to move forward, while seeking the truth and fighting the bad guys. The hero and the psychics form a team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to welcome my characters. Coming after me, Leena, the villain. Piece of cake. This one, pregnancy. My master of controversies will illustrate how we all tend to be attracted by the hero, that is his position and what he embodies. Our third speaker, Dunja, the hero herself, always available at the slightest call from the author. She will remind you of the existing bond between the two, between the hero and the psychic, for they are both equals and form a duo. Our fourth speaker, Ina, the psychic, the support on which our hero can lean onto, will further explain how, in a way, we are the main characters, the heroes of our own lives. Finally, our whip, Tristan, the die-hard fan of the hero, will close up this debate. To conclude, dear Joey, heroes are not better, than psychics, and neither are psychics better than heroes. They are just different and need each other to accomplish their goals. And they are a team. One is not better than the other, and that is why my story is all about. But if you want to find out more, you'll have to buy my second book. I will now open the floor to Leena, who will explain how attracted to the hero we all are. But please remember this. No need for hierarchy when you have complementarity. Please reject this motion. Thank you.
I don't know what's better between heroes and sidekicks, but I definitely know what's better than the Disneyland of sidekicks.
Maybe the Disneyland of Star Wars sidekicks. Disney Plus.
Sorry, I'm kind of. It's so lit to be back at Dauphine, where I started my official debating journey back in 2014. Thank you. Charming chair, you set my heart on fire. Blissful bell, your love gives me heartburn. Juicy jury, hey hot stuff. Opulent opposition, you're gonna get lit up. Golden government, you guys are my perfect match, and I love you. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing can extinguish my love for you. Good evening. Oh, a few new guests. Okay, people, look alive, let's go. Get up, let's move it. Rise and shine, y'all way past the beauty sleep thing. Trust me. Who am I? I'm cute. I'm red, of course. I'm travel size for your convenience. Because if I was real size, your opposition here would die of fright. You guessed it. I'm the guardian of lost souls. I'm the powerful, the pleasurable, the indestructible Mushu. Moulin sidekick and fiery rock. Prior entering this ride, don't forget that this one is hot and spicy. Beware of your hair and your mustache, they might burn. But before I explain why it is better to be the sidekick than the hero, I need to express myself. Because as the famous Eurovision singer Helena said, because I'm burning up and ain't cooling down, yeah, I got the fire. Fuego. Yes, I'm bilingual as well. Dishonor. Dishonor on your whole family. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow. Dishonor of what you have said. Dear Madam Gangaram. Life has a hierarchy. You are always above someone. But I'd rather be below. The opposition, ladies and gentlemen, is misleading you in saying that there is no comparison. We always strive to behave like someone in the shadow than someone just looking for glory. It is fulfilling us, the others, and the society in general. And these are our points, ladies and gentlemen, as Walt Disney said. He said also, better people add more value, are of higher quality, they're more useful, and can be more exciting. I guess I can only say that we're pretty cool sidekicks and a hell of a ride to take. The term sidekick is believed to have originated in pickpocket slang in the late 19th century. No, thank you. The kick was the front pocket of a pair of trousers, believed to be the safest from stealing. Thus, and by analogy, a sidekick was a person's closest companion, although I tend to get kicked more by Grandma Fa than being on Moulin's side. It is better to be the sidekick because you develop yourself more than the hero. And being Moulin's winged dragon made me realize it in two ways. First, for my inner self, and second, for my outer self. No thank you. And these will be my 2 points. The truth is, like Moulin, I started out as a fraud. Her ancestors never sent me. They don't even like me. I mean, sure, one of them had their head chopped off because of me, but still, one mistake and I was relegated as a mere incense burner and gong ringer, and barely even seen as a drugger. I was selfish, seeking attention just like the opposition, but I got to do an introspection thanks to the Fa family. Cost me less than a therapist. My story really begins, yes?
If you were selfish, how do you add value?
Well, that's the whole purpose. When I met Moulin, I developed my inner self and my outer self. Thank you very much for this question. My story, as I mentioned, really begins when I decided to eat some humble dim sums and help Moulin do her thing all by herself and just being there to help her. But don't worry about that. The helping the others part will be explored by my buddy, the genie, later on. Acknowledging my past mistakes, being less of a hothead, I managed to start a different fire inside of me. A less glamorous one, but a fruitful one nonetheless. I was able to bring back Moulin home and bring honor to her family. In the process, so did I. Now, if you know anything about dragons, our fire isn't just inward, it's also outward. And this is my second one. Yes?
Why are you stealing the success of your hero?
I'm not stealing the success of my hero. I'm just here to tell you that we, the sidekick, help the heroes. You can definitely tell my body is a temple. You can see it. I can see it. When I started out this journey, I was a tiny lizard with a limited firing range. And I'm still tiny. But no thank you. I'm more like a little lighter than a blowtorch. But you know, sometimes size does not matter. Through my inner growth, my growing confidence, I made up for my limitations and still the big bad hunch on you with some well-timed fireworks. And let me tell you, I'm not the first person who by taking a backseat and helping someone else ended up discovering something great in themselves, which lead them to doing great things out in the world, as Zazu will show you. By the way, Zazu, don't forget your Chinese lesson tomorrow night. Shake, shake. You can't play that game with me anymore and skip classes. All in all, and to sum it up, it is better to be a sidekick than the hero. Because first, you gain a higher fulfillment in your inner self, which makes your outer self fulfill great deeds. No time to talk. Now remember, it's your first right, so listen to your teacher and no fighting. Play nice with the other kids, unless, of course, one of the other kids want to fight. Then you have to kick the other kid's butt. Dear jury, you got a friend in us, so please adopt the motion.
Together, which is fired up by the kicking. I hope Leena is going to get ready to ride.
Dear chairperson, thank you for reminding me the rules I always take great pleasure in breaking. Dear bad person, doesn't it feel weird to be the chairperson's sidekick? Dear Zachary, Lawa, Anatole, you are so bright and shiny and smart, I'd like to do you harm. Dear members of the government, I hate you.
Yay!
Dear members of the opposition, I hate you too. But this. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Dear government, why so joyful? to say, of course, we are all different. You're always, worse at something than someone else. It's true. But different people make a good team. Why deny that? You can also develop yourself as a hero too. Why not? We can see all the time heroes growing in It's a Classic in every hero's movie. Nobody's born perfect. So why not a hero too? And also I would like to point that we are not saying that the sidekick doesn't help the hero. In contrary. I am the spice in your movie. I am the one you secretly wish to be. I'm the one having the real fun here. I'm the bad. But you know, every one of us villains has a heartbreaking backstory that makes you sympathize with us. I'm not evil for evil's sake alone. I've had a troubled childhood. Society deceived, excluded. No, it's real. Classic story. And I'm here to prove to you that there's no scenario where it is better to be a psychic. I'm going to demonstrate this to you in 2 simple points. 1, being a psychic is not that fun. 2, my second point is a surprise that I'm not going to spoil to you just yet. Okay, so grab a cup of coffee and let me complain about my life. It is not better to be a psychic because they aren't on the spotlight.
On that point?
No thanks. Being a villain, the psychic is the first one I will kill. Sorry, Helena, darling. Because big corporate production will not let me kill the hero and unleash chaos upon the world. Instead of letting me in this masquerade in the first 2 minutes of the movie, they force me to come up with extremely complex evil plan so I can finally fight the hero in the most dramatic way possible.
On that note, madam.
Yes, please.
Why are you defending your bully?
Sorry, what?
Why are you defending your bully?
What shame.
My bully?
Yeah.
Because I'm a villain, duh. Okay. The hero, at least, has a blast finding me and making my plans fall. By the time, the psychic has time to bleed 20 liters of blood and suffer off screen. Okay, so I go through all this trouble to always lose. The production's audacity. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I've worked super hard on these trying years. The sidekick did their absolute best, and the hero ends up with all the fame and glory. Sidekicks have no recognition for what they do. Plus, they are often considered less interesting than the hero, even if that's not always true. In Don Quixote, everyone thinks Sancho Panza is a dumb peasant, whereas he's often smarter than Don Quixote. That's another problem when you are a sidekick. Not only are you perceived as a dummy, but in addition, you never get fully credited for what you actually do, which is most of the time trying to save the world from you. Sidekicks are disposable characters that are not valued enough. Fun, right? Here comes my secret argument. Okay. Let's be real for a minute. If I put my ego aside, and it's the one and only time you will ever hear me say this, what I've wanted to do, what I strive to be, is the hero.
Shame.
Damn, that hurt me to say that out loud. Okay. Because, no thanks. Because Inari, my dear, don't you agree? Who wants second? Don't you want to shine? Why choose to be in someone else's shadows? We are, in a way, felt heroes. And if I can't be the hero, I will be the villain, not the sidekick. There is no in between. I refuse to be second. I would rather try my best to be first in a long line of distinguished villains. Let me give you an example of heroes and their sidekick so you can see for yourself. Superman and Supergirl, the Flash and Kid Flash, the third person and the bell person. Do you see it now? The sidekick is always a hero's mini version. For you basic people, it might seem cool to be a sidekick, but I dare you to look at me in the eyes and tell me that if you had the opportunity to be first, you wouldn't take it. Yeah, that's what I thought. It is very hard for me to say this, But I feel deep down and admire the hero. He is always so powerful, so mighty, yet humble and kind. Everything I once aspired to be before life kicked me down. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, it is not better to be a psychic. And I deeply envy the hero. Yes. Okay, enough of this. As usual, I greatly pave the way for, you've guessed it, the hero. Dunja is brightly going to explain to you that her and her sidekick Inari are in fact a joke, not a competition. Now I'm going to retire to my evil cave and torture some sidekicks I captured last week. And, as the author forced me to say, there is no need for hierarchy when you have complementarity. Thank you!
You for sure torture those sidekicks. Let's see what they have to say. I welcome Louise to the floor.
Change makers of the government, can you feel the love tonight? Respected heroes of the opposition, be careful not to go from hero to zero. Wise members of the jury, tonight we can make all our dreams come true, even this one, thank you. Eloquent chair. I'm sure you distinguish the true leaders of this debate. Devoted bellboy, you have all our attention. We don't put bellboy in the corner. Lucky audience. We couldn't dream of any better sidekicks for this event. Good evening. Welcome to the Lion King ride. Ladies and gentlemen, Zazu. The King's Majordomo. You can call me Mr. Banana Beak. So before riding through the kingdom, let's experience, ladies and gentlemen, a roller coaster of emotions with the morning report. My security team heard some heroes trying to threaten the order and security of our pride land, and even some villains. Indeed, Chelsea, you said that there was no hierarchy, but don't you want a winner for this debate? Indeed, even Leena, you said that you secretly wanted to be the hero. Thank you for proving to your mate that a hierarchy does exist. Yay! Don't worry, your majesties, we take care of the situation. Mushu demonstrated that it is better to be the sidekick than the hero because you develop yourself more as a sidekick. I will go further, your majesties. My argument is that it is better to be a sidekick than a hero because the sidekick is contributing more. And I will develop 2 points. The first one is that the sidekick contributes more as he is the one taking the decisions, and second one, that is the one responsible for the success of the quest. So no time to waste, your majesties, and let's fly straight into my first point. The sidekick is the one taking the decisions. We, a rational advisor, we give the hero some external and objective view on a situation. We are their memory, we are their minds, we are the ones who decide. Yes, please.
What would you be without the hero if being the sidekick helped you develop yourself so much?
Oh, but there is also no hero without any sidekicks because we all have any family support. So you can't exist without us, we can't exist without you. Here. So my friend Mushu gives me amazing Chinese lessons. Every Wednesday at 6:37 in the savannah. And Mushu taught me the philosophy of Lao Tzu, the Chinese philosopher and writer. He used to say, to lead people, walk beside them. As for the best leader, the people do not notice their existence. And that is true. Walt Disney became well known while Mickey Mouse was an idea of I work. He decided it. And it's the same for Alfred Hitchcock and his wife. And here, I have a quote of his daughter Patricia, who said, when he would find a story that he was anxious to do, he would have her read it. If she didn't think it would make a picture, he didn't touch it. And that's true. This is what sidekicks are. Decision makers. Yeah. If we were not there, nothing great would happen. Nothing would be decided.
On that
We need from the back. No thank you. In a very clever way. We don't want to be celebrities. We don't want glory, as the Jamie will soon explain to you. We want to make a difference, and we do. Yeah. And this leads me nicely into my second point, which is, it is better to be the sidekick than the hero, because the sidekick guarantees the success of the quest.
What information, please?
Yes, please.
Would you rather be the hero of your life or be my sidekick?
Oh, I prefer to be the sidekicks that make a difference and take all the decisions.
Oh, shame.
Shame. Indeed. Sidekicks are the one responsible for the success of a quest from the beginning to an end. My mom actually always told me, Zazou, when you start something, finish it. And yes, that is true. We started, we take the decision, so then we implement them. We make sure that nothing threatens the order. We make sure that nothing threatens the implementation. Not the hero himself, and not the enemy. Indeed, in this essay entitled Side by Side, the writer, renowned writer Ron Butchenheim, insists on the fact that sidekicks bring the hero to the realm of reality. No, thank you. Indeed, actually all they do is escapades and adventures. That's actually what happened with the young Simba, the one that I used to protect, this little fluffy hair. Actually, all he could do was getting himself into trouble with the hyenas. And all I could do was fly behind him and protect him. So yes, the sidekick protects, and they also protect against the enemy. In Moulin, the hilarious Mushu actually fired the rocket against the villain. He was the one who did that. He saved Moulin, he saved China. But you don't remember that. In history, Queen Victoria was actually the one facing many attempts to assassinate her. They were prevented by our sidekicks. We are the reason of any success. So in fact, it's better to be the sidekicks because we contribute more. We're the decision maker and we're the guarantee of success. The Lion King ride now comes to an end. Please keep your hands on feet, legs, and sit inside the train until a cast member opens the door for you. And I'll let you rub the land and discover our best friend, the Jenny. Ladies and gentlemen, dear jury, you got a friend in us. We beg you to accept this.
Well, Zazou, thank you for your morning briefing. I don't know what time zone you are in, but I think it's a bit late. However, it's just in time for the hero of the opposition. I welcome Lulia to the floor. Shame.
Oh. Here.
Don't worry, you think heroes fall something. Heroic chairperson. When danger calls, you are never afraid to answer. One would think you would have years of experience behind you. Busy timekeeper, bound by the realm of time, I salute you for your duty. Noble members of the jury, never has the city needed justice more than now. We are so thankful to have you here.
You're here.
Sidekick members of the government. I'm always accepting sidekicks if any of you want to join our team. Except you, Walt Disney, I thought you were dead. How honored and humbled I am to be fighting by your side.
Hear, hear.
My very, very dear friend. Fear not, because I, the hero, am here. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I apologize for the cynicism of my felonious friend. I will gladly accept you as my sidekick. Don't worry. I am honored and humbled to be here today. I came as soon as I could. Now, more than ever, the people of Paris need my help. What is this nonsense that I hear? The envious fury of the government trying to pit brothers and sisters against each other, trying to destroy the equality we so hardly fought to maintain. For you see, we talk so highly about equality. We say we believe in it, we know it's the right path, but we let these dark thoughts poison our spirit and make us believe that one person is better than the other. I will show you why it is not better to be the sidekick than the hero. Not because I think of myself so highly to believe that I am the better option, but because, firstly, we are equals, and secondly, there is no better option in a team. But first, I must respond to some of the rebuttals. First of all, you called us heroes, but we are not heroes here. We have an author, a sidekick, a villain, and even our biggest fan. Secondly, no thank you. Secondly, the Lion King's Council, I'm sorry, I always forget the sidekicks' names. You said that the heroes and sidekicks are a team, and we agreed. Thank you for agreeing with our main argument.
On that point?
No thank you. So, you also said that the sidekicks are responsible for the success of the quest, but most sidekicks don't even make it till the end of the quest. It's the hero who saves the day, or the saint or something like that. And lastly, you said the sidekicks help the heroes, but in that case, isn't it better to be a hero that always receives the help rather than the person who helps? Now, let me start with my first argument. You see, yes?
You want to be the selfish person that never helps?
Oh, shame.
I actually help, but I help everyone. I save the world, not the sidekicks. You see, my friends, as my nemesis, the villain, said, a lot of people want to be the hero. Even my trusty sidekick one day hopes to follow in my footsteps. And while that might be true, it doesn't mean that we are not equals. Two sides of the same coin. The coin that fights for justice. I have my flaws too. It's not better to be the sidekick or better to be the hero. Both were equally important. In order to reach greatness, to be unstoppable, each persona must be remarkable in their own way. This goes back all the way to what our author said in the definition in the beginning. What is better for one person is not necessarily better for the other. You, for example, might agree that being the hero is the better choice because you have that spark in yourself that just cannot become the flame unless you play the main role, the hero of the story. But on the other side, you, for example, find that you'll be able to help much more when playing a supporting role. You don't necessarily enjoy the limelight and prefer to be the wings that lift the hero up and help him make the world a better place. I have my qualities and my sidekick has hers. We complete each other. We help each other. We lift each other. We are a team. Second point, the sidekick and a hero are a duo. What really matters is being part of the team. Just as the lovely author said, we are partners in fighting crime. Unlike in a race, there is no competition. There is no first or second place, winners or losers. We are here to help society, to save lives, to conquer evil. All those trivial and petty things like who helped more and who's better, who's best, that doesn't really matter when somebody's life is in danger. Yes?
How many zeros have to exist for you to reap all the winnings from them? Here.
I will bravely continue on without understanding them. So, the stakes are just too high when we fight in order to win. So we need to work together. You see, it might not be me who lands the last punch, but at the end of the But at the end of the day, our teamwork helped me arrive there. We are a perfectly oiled machine that just wouldn't work if you took one of the parts out of it. The sidekick without the hero is no longer a sidekick because he no longer has somebody's side to stand next to.
Here.
Just like an engine is not an engine without the bolts that make the parts stay in place. Without the bolts, I, the hero, am just a collection of spare parts. And without the parts, well, you, my lovely sidekick, you're just a box of bolts. In order to reach greatness, we must soar high together. I say unto you, we must practice what we preach. So this is why I will now let my trusty sidekick, my valued apprentice, my dear friend, show you that not only are we equals, but we are also all the heroes of our own lives.
Here.
Please remember this. There is no need for hierarchy when we have complementarity. Please reject this notion, and thank you very much. Also, if anybody finds my ears.
Dunja, your rhetorics level is as high as your esteem. I wish I could be as heroic as you. Speaking about which, a genius summoned the stage. Please welcome Helena.
My wonderful friends from the government, and my dear opposition, here you are, living proof that not all heroes wear capes, some wear blazers. Dear chairman, dear bellboy, you are the true dynamic duo of this debate. And wise jury, you've got a friend in me and in Disney. Wonderful audience, good evening and welcome to the Arabian Night Ride. First of all, I come to you with essential advice. Just please take note immediately. Don't listen to Bonnie Tyler. She doesn't need a hero, okay? Don't hold out till the end of the night. He won't be that strong. He won't be that fast, and his feet will stink from the fight. Now, please allow me to introduce myself. I am Aladdin's genie, the wise, the hilarious, the charismatic sidekick, and I didn't say modest. Yes, I helped Aladdin go from the streets to the princess's sheets. Now, beyond that, let's stop being silly, I agree. You'll find that as a sidekick, the values I bring are more essential to society. Now, I hope you're safely buckled in for this Arabian Night Ride in what I like to call the Lamborghini. And as a safety precaution, I must confront the opposition. Dear opposition, if you only did things you get credit for, then wouldn't it be the end of altruism in the world as we know it? And if the sidekick dies before the hero, that doesn't mean he hasn't contributed more to the quest and more to society. Now, let me spill the tea. I will give you 2 reasons why the sidekick is more essential for society. Firstly, this sidekick is truly inspirational. He is realistic, he is relatable, he is in all of us, all of you, and me. And secondly, the sidekick embodies ideal values for society. He is truly altruistic, he is a loyal partner. Indeed, he doesn't go searching for glory. Realistic, relatable in all of us. I believe the opposite can be said of heroes, especially the Hollywood hero. A large number of reputable studies, such as a comprehensive Anberg report, have recorded that a persistent lack of diversity exists in lead roles in films, and we can all agree the lead role often is a hero. Of the top 100 highest grossing sci-fi films and also fantasy films, only 12% had a female protagonist. Only 8% had protagonists of colour. 6 of those were starring Will Smith, and one of them was my wonderful Aladdin. And only 2% of protagonists had a disability, and there were no LGBTQ that were represented at all. So how can we, in a society that is rich thanks to its diversity, relate to heroes that are not representative and not realistic? The little representation there is of minority groups is with the secondary characters, the sidekicks. The sidekicks are loyal, they're faithful, they're supportive, and they are wonderfully imperfect, like me. Sidekicks add a human quality to the story. They are necessary for... Yes?
How do you do when sidekicks want to take over heroes' task?
Well, according to you, they often die before that happens anyway. Now, on my second point, the sidekick embodies ideal values in society. They are the altruistic, loyal partner, and we should celebrate that more than the actual winning of a hero. There is something terribly unplanned about a hero, and it often comes in tragic circumstances. And can you truly strive to be something inconsistent? After all, being a hero also depends on the time, the place, and the person who is witness to your heroic act. You know, isn't it tragic that some of the greatest heroes we know in history had to do an extraordinary act of heroism just to survive? Is that something we should strive to emulate? I don't think so.
Yeah.
What you need to remember is that the sidekick, regardless of the status, of the ego, or the credit that is awarded to you, he will, through the combination of competence, love, and physics, be the true value of society. Yes, did I say physics? Yes. Why? Because I am now going to talk to you about the case of Helena Einstein. Yes, Einstein. You don't know her name. She was the wife of Einstein, and first wife, and was far superior in applied mathematics than her husband. She actually helped verify his equations, and historians report that she was actually the secret co-author of the 1905 relativity paper. She has contributed greatly to society, and yet she has no glory. She may not be celebrated as much as her husband, but she is the ultimate sidekick, and she should be considered valuable, but also she is fundamentally moral and loyal, and we should celebrate that more than glory. I believe that...
Yes? Okay. What would be the sidekick without the hero?
The sidekick absolutely does need a hero, but when you look at society, the values that he brings, that isn't related to glory, has more value. I believe indeed that through values of loyalty, friendship, partnership, and also fun, they have more fun. Sidekicks are the better example to follow. In fact, as my dear Zazu said, the sidekick achieves more, and he helps build the quest. For society, the sum of things all achieved by sidekicks exceeds in contribution, but also in morality, what has been accomplished by heroes. Ladies and gentlemen, be inspired by the sidekicks around you. Don't wait around to be saved by a smelly hero that's all sweaty. Next time around, and in the name of our society, I ask of you this time 3 wishes. Take pride in being the sidekick. You are all sidekicks. Vote for this motion, and most importantly, after voting for this motion, be yourself. Now, if I didn't convince you, I'll whip sure will with a whip of magic wand, bippity boppity bobo.
Glorious ride in a Lamborghini through relativity and time. Please welcome Inari to the floor.
Dear chairperson, you are the true hero of this debate. Precious timekeeper, you might look like the chairperson's sidekick, but you are not. Esteemed judges, only you can tell us who will be heroic tonight. Misled members of the Gulf, it's okay if you want to be the sidekicks tonight. We will be the true heroes of this debate. Fellow members of the opposition, what an honor to debate with such heroic veterans. Friendly public, how would you like to be remembered? As heroes or sidekicks? You let us know. Let's kick off, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight, we heard a lot about what is it to be a sidekick. I'm more than thrilled to finally have the opportunity to voice my opinion. Indeed, who is better placed than the sidekick herself to answer this burning question? However, first things first, let me clarify a few points. Zazu, you said it's better to be a sidekick because you contribute more. If you like being exploited, well, that's your choice. And Ginny, you said that sidekicks are moral and loyal. But sidekicks are also realistic, you said. Well, you have to know that most people aren't moral and loyal. So are you sure you know what is a sidekick? As my other half closest friend, my closest friend, I mean my dear Dunja, I will always be there for you, sis. She explained, the point is not to know if it's better to be the sidekick or the hero. Why obsessing with the word better? I'm not better than the heroine. I'm not less than her. I'm the sidekick. Part of a joke, but I'm the heroine of my own life. Since tonight, everyone seems so interested in knowing what it feels like to be the sidekick, I have a few confessions to make. Being a sidekick is so tiring. Like, I'm okay with being a sidekick, that's my choice, but I would 10 out of 10 wouldn't recommend this experience to anyone. First, I will explain to you that being a sidekick makes me so tired because I have to be the sidekick and the hero of my own life. Second, I also feel tired of being sidekick sometimes because my characters are most of the time so badly written or poorly depicted. So let me start my first point with a question. Would anyone in this room rather be the sidekick than the hero of their own life? No, thank you. So, anyone? Yeah, this is what I thought. Nobody. Well, do you want to be the sidekick of your own life? I don't think so. No, thank you. That's the same thing for sidekicks. They don't want to be the sidekicks of their own life. Yes, please.
So it's better to be the hero of your own life than the sidekick, right?
My whole point is to say that you can be both hero of your own life and the sidekick, because that's your choice. So, one day I wasn't busy saving the world with Dunja, I had an epiphany. I realized nobody is coming to save me. I must save myself. I must be my own superhero. As the famous Invictus poem states, I'm the master of my fate, I'm the captain of my soul. And you know what? No, thank you. Fighting villains like Leena all the time and being the captain of my own destiny, that's a lot. And that's why I feel so tired most of the time. Being a sidekick is exhausting. It's all the more exhausting that despite the fact that I'm also a main character, a heroine of my own life, with my own aspiration, I'm always underdeveloped and underrated. Which leads me to my second point. I'm so sick and tired of sidekicks being written in such a poor, should I say sick, way. As Leena, yes?
Is it Chelsea who wrote it?
Yes, she's not perfect, you know. She's not a perfect hero. Are you a critic? But thank you for your opinion. As Leena, our unjust villain, showed you, sidekicks are always deemed stupid, useless, ridiculous, insert the despising adjective you want.
On that point?
Yes?
Aren't you mistaking heroes with things we need to aspire to in life?
I think you should check what is a hero in the dictionary, because heroes are role models.
Here.
And it's so infuriating to be always despised, because I'm a helper, and I'm very happy to be a helper. That's my choice. That's the goal I decided to dedicate myself to. Without me, there is no happy end, no victory of good over evil. Do you really think Sherlock Holmes would solve his cases without Dr. Watson's help? Don't you think that a precious Watson deserves a better development than elementary, my dear Watson? As Dunja said, my sis, the hero and the sidekick are a team. And still, you insist on calling me a sidekick? How rude! Here. What I can say tonight is that I'm very okay with being a helper. I'm the master of my fate.
Here.
But I would not recommend being a sidekick. You have been warned. If after all that you still want to be a sidekick, you can come and see me after the debate. We will have a little chat. That being said, it's my absolute pleasure to end my speaking time to dear fanboy Tristan. But remember, no need for hierarchy when you have complementarity. On this basis, we beg you to oppose this gloomy motion.
I welcome Bobo to the floor.
Charming chairman, Tinkerbelling bell person, honorable jury, you have us hooked, goofy members of the opposition, friends from the opposition. Dear audience, ladies and gentlemen, Mouseketeers and Imagineers, good evening. Welcome to the happiest place on earth, Disneyland Dauphine PSL. The Paris City has never been this big. I'm Mickey, Walt Disney's sidekick, and one of the many guys at this park. And boy, aren't I glad to show you around. From Steamboat Willie to Fantasia to video games and plastic toys, you have seen me in practically everything. I'm a mascot, a mouseketer, and the employer of over 200,000 people worldwide. Like any good old sidekick, I am multifaceted. From a rogue rodent to a lovable mouse, it made me change for the better. From a character to a cheerleader of innovators, it made me make a difference. And from a drawing to a symbol of happiness, it made me essential to other people. These have been our 3 points tonight. Now, I have heard many things tonight that make my round ears prick up. So let me remind you of some of our definitions tonight, which the opposition kindly agreed with, so thank you. We define heroes as the center of attention, people capable and doers of great things, of great deeds, and defined by greatness. Whereas sidekicks are, thank you, the balancing force, the moral compass of a character, the guide to a character. And we define better as adding more value. This is a simple demonstration that the government is trying to show tonight. Now, it led to 2 points of clash tonight. First, on the interpersonal, and the second point of clash on the idea of introspection. But first of all, before I address the first points of clashes, I have to say, the opposition had a huge contradiction, a huge flaw, and in any parts worker a flaw is a terrible, deadly thing. The PM said that the leader of the opposition, Chelsea, said that we were all useful and we were all equals. Yet Leena said that sidekicks are perhaps disposable, so perhaps less equal than the other parts. Classic main character syndrome. It's like Kim Kardashian saying, yes, Courtney is useful. She's sit here and have her kids while I shine. This is what the opposition is saying. The basis of this notion, this illusion of cohesion, when really there's a pecking order. So first of all, not only is it contradictory, it's fundamentally naive, if not to say dishonest. Should I say dishonest? Which leads to our first point of class, the interpersonal. Now our two teams agree that psychics and heroes need each other. They exist in a relationship to others and have a goal to fulfill for the other person. But the main difference is the opposition willingly lives in a fantasy.
On that point,
yes.
Is there really an objective way of measuring how one thing is better than the other?
Yes. So the opposite willingly lives in a fantasy land. And coming from people from Disney, it says a lot. Because anyone who has ever had to do a group project knows that this is not true. You will always have that one person who does nothing and he's being carried to the end. And who carries them? The sidekicks. Dunja said we're all equal because we're a team. No need to pit people against others, which is what Leena did in her speech by pitting sidekicks against the villains, against heroes, against the author, against perhaps the fanboy. They're not fun, they're not interesting, and you know what, they'll probably just die.
On that point,
no thank you. And then the coup de grâce, came in and said, yes, they contribute. They just contribute less because in the end, the hero is actually the one achieving something. That is not true because the government has shown through Louise that it is with your closest and your dearest that you make a difference as a sidekick, as Helena said. You make a difference by making choices and implementing decisions, as Louise has said. You contribute to society, you become a force for the better. Now this leads to my second point of clash, introspection. Inari came over, and Inari, first of all, we're hiring. We're always happy to have more sidekicks in our part. But Inari said she was tired and seemed to have felt disillusioned by the way she was written. The only reason that she feels this way is based on how, in her relationship, on how the other characters made her feel. But as Shanica has shown and is willing to coach you, by being a sidekick, you will learn inner strength and with that achieve great deeds. So before our parade comes to an end, let me remind you of our three attractions. In the land of Disney, but also in life, it is better to be a sidekick than a hero because it makes your inner and outer self a magic kingdom. It makes you make and implement change that can herald a great Tomorrowland, and makes life with you an everlasting adventureland. So please, you have a friend in us, please adopt us.
I wonder if Tristan is a fan of Mickey. Please now welcome Tristan.
I would like to thank you all for organizing and attending this debate. It's my honor and pleasure to be the last speaker of our first debate together this year. Lovely Chairman, it's a pleasure to see you here, really. Esteemed person, it's so nice to have you with us, so we avoid losing more time. Honorable members of the jury, please tonight, don't be the villains of this story and reject the motion. People from the government, well, thank you for keeping us wait at the beginning of the debate. Sorry, but it's true. Even if you're straight from a comic, you have been much more than just comics tonight. Dear audience, indeed, you are the true sidekicks of this story. You are here, spectating us, cheering for us, supporting us. Well, at the end of the day, no one would really remember you. But still, you were here. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. First, I have to say that I'm very thrilled to be here tonight. It's so exciting to be with my favorite characters. Hi, Dunja, you are my hero. I've always wanted to be you. See? You two are such a big villain. You are the villain everyone wants to face. Chelsea, by the way, I can't live without an autograph. And Inari, you are the perfect sidekick. When I would be a hero, I want you as my sidekick. I remember when I was in the kindergarten, we used to play in the playground, and we loved embodying comics characters. But what I remember is that everyone wanted to be the hero.
Here!
No one thought that it was better to be the sidekick. And I think it said that out of the mouth of babes. Well, I don't know if it's true, but anyway. I've heard some things from the government that, no thank you, that are far from true. First, I have to say I admire that you are sidekicks from Disneyland. And now I understand why among you I only saw clowns in the park. I have to say, Peter, that there is not always a better option among two. Because you can't have to choose when there is, as for instance, the sidekick and the hero, a team, a partnership. You won't have to choose between being a dad or a mom. It's the same for the sidekick and the superhero. You have a heroic question? No, I don't think so. I have to say that I loved your speech. Yes, you show how it was helpful to be a sidekick, and on this I agree. But you still try to steal the shine out of Moulin, and I don't understand why. No, I agree, sidekicks are helpful, but this does not mean they are better than the hero they are helping.
Here.
Now, I have to say that there's, well, you say that you wanted to stay in the shadow, make a difference, but far from the light. Then why are you here, trying to make all the sidekicks shine? Why are you all incarnating most famous sidekick? I don't know if you want to stay in the shadow. Maybe it's okay. Now, Jean, you are really interesting character. I love you, by the way. I'm a big fan. But if sidekicks are supposed to be loyal to heroes, why haven't you stopped to just criticize them and shooting to them all the night? If you are supposed to support them, that's not my definition of loyalty. Yes, please.
Is constructive criticism not supported?
When it's constructive, yes, but I haven't heard any one of them tonight. And finally, Mickey Mouse. You present yourself as a sidekick, but I'm sorry, I see more Mickey as a hero. It's one of the most famous heroes of Disney. Why are you trying to appear as a sidekick? You're just trying to mislead the jury, but the jury is wise. Now, let me recap what was really important in this debate, what my heroic team said. First, my favorite author, Chelsea, wrote it from the incipit until the final quiz. It's pointless to compare hero and sidekick, for they are partners, they are two sides of the same coin, and who would be tails rather than heads? On the point one. No, thank you. Wow, Leena. With you as a villain, I agree it's a hard time to be a sidekick, isn't it? However, you are right when you say that most of the time, the psychic has the hardest part, and it's not rewarded up to its efforts.
Here.
By the way, I was the first surprised to learn that even you would rather be the hero. Dunja, my hero, you did such an inspiring speech, still defending equality and tolerance. And indeed, in a team, in a partnership, where both are equals, I insist, and both participate in the success of this partnership, there is no point in saying that it's better to be one rather than the other.
Here.
And when the government is trying to prove the contrary, it's only to sow discord in such a perfect team. But we are above that, don't we?
Here.
Finally, Inari, the great psychic. You are completely right. As you explained to us, even the psychic think that it's better to be the hero of their own life. Indeed, it's true. Who wouldn't be the main character of his own life?
Here.
No one. Considering all those arguments, I understand why this house can't believe that it's better to be the psychic than the hero. Eventually, the author and her creation proved it well. Because there is no need for hierarchy when you have complementarity. That's why, dear wise jury, I'm asking you to be my heroes tonight and reject this villainous motion.
Yeah.